My name is Janine,
and Joy.
and we are
Dropping
Dropping Gems.
I'm hyped now. So recently, Janine actually sent me a meme where it said the highest compliment a man can give a woman is by marrying him. And I just, when she sent that to me, it was funny because like right after I'm seeing people getting engaged and so and so just popped a question and so whatever. Cool.
Everybody's getting engaged.
Isn't it coming off almost like a fad,
It's coming off like a fad.
it's the thing to do. So
It's coming off
it kind of angered me a little bit, or just triggered. Oh, did you see that?
Yeah.
Triggered my soul because I felt like, bro, y'all don't even know what the institution of marriage even like means. Like what? Like you're in your 20s, and it's funny that I even say that because in my like life, I always saw myself. I wanted to be married by 25, my first baby by 26, and da 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 da. But I could tell anybody, take your time. Take your time, please. Especially with the marriage shit, because I feel like, listen, things are so different. We're not our parents. We're not like this. Well, I'll speak for myself with our generation because it's not a game. Like it's not. It's work. We're constantly changing, and you have to acclimate to those changes in your partner and things like that. And it's not a game either.
I think people get married for the wedding and not what happens after the wedding.
And I will tell anybody, baby, it is work. And it's not like a trying to deter people from, going and getting married or anything like that. It literally is a situation where it's like, bro, I may not be myself today, but, love me through it, What do you think about everybody and all this proposing? And because I'm angry. I'm not like angry, but, I'm just like,
Well, I mean, it does. It definitely is bothersome, especially because I'm not married yet. So it's almost like, do I even want him to ask me at this point? Because it seems like everybody is doing it. Like it's just like it's a fad. And like she said, it's work. Like I know from just being in a relationship how much work it is. Like we were together about 5 years before we even moved in with each other. Like we took our time with everything. We just had our first child 8-9 years in. You know what I'm saying? Like we took our time with everything, and marriage is no different. Like, don't get me wrong. We both want to be married. We both feel like, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. But it's also like the work involved. It's a lot of work involved. And I mean, personally, it's things like therapy and stuff that I feel like should definitely happen before you take that next step.
but I get why
Now,
they say that.
I do too. But what I do want to reiterate is that I haven't even said it yet, but I'm reiterating it. Is that nothing should change after you get married, and I think that's the biggest thing. People feel like they
Break
get
that down.
married.
Break that down.
They get married, and automatically your Cinderella and your Prince Charming is going to appear. Like you're marrying the person that you've been with. It's not going to change. And when you go into a marriage with the expectation that it's going to be different, I feel like is when it fails. Like you have
But
to know.
it is going to change though.
But
Things do change.
things change. I mean, you're going to change, of course, as people. You're going to grow either together or apart. But I'm saying you can't marry somebody and automatically expect them to now, if they're out all night, now they're going to be in the house. Or now,
Right,
that's what I'm saying. Like it can't be like you're married. We're married now, so this has to change about you. It can't be that. You got to know what you're getting into when you get into it.
Right.
That's how I feel. Like I think that a lot of people don't understand that going into, and I've kind of always been a little bit wiser than my years, because I've always felt that way. Like I felt like it was a huge step. And I think I have a couple of issues with commitment as well. I'm going to be honest. Like my entire life, I kind of ran away from, I think, people that would really commit and ran toward ones that
Wouldn't.
it's like I'm being completely transparent with that because I feel like it's scary. It's scary to say, whoa, the rest of my life. You know
I mean,
what I'm saying?
if I could go back, I don't think I would change anything. I don't have any regrets.
Right.
Especially, no, I don't have any regrets, but I learned a lot,
Yeah.
you know, so that I could tell the next person, yeah, take your time.
Like you could have waited. You didn't have to be married.
Yes, and I, when I tell you, like, it was to the point where certain people were getting married, and I was like, what? Even they are engaged?
Right. Where my ring at? Where my
Bruh.
ring at?
And this is
Right,
after
no.
we're together 10 years,
Yeah.
11 years at this point.
Yeah.
I think 11 years. That was in my vows. I remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
11 years at this point, going on 15 in July, just so you know.
Right.
I could have taken my time. Because I'm swear to you, Janine. I mean, you obviously know firsthand being my best friend, but I was on it. Like, sir, this don't make no sense. Like, we've actually been living together since 6 months into our relationship.
Yeah.
You
that's a
know,
long time.
and I like, bro, I know your social by heart.
Right,
Like,
right.
at this point, like, come
Right.
on, like, I'm 2 dogs in.
Right.
Like, we done built a house.
Right.
Then
Yeah.
moved to, like, it's
Yeah.
like, bro,
Like, what we doing?
what
Yeah.
else do we need to do to establish this? But honey, the wedding is amazing. That whole process is stressful as hell, but everything's beautiful, cool. But let's get to the actual marriage.
But I will say this though, just really quick on what you said. That is a really good reason to want to be married. It's like we've done everything else, because now on the other side of things, that's how I do feel. It's like, what are we waiting for on that end? Because we're together, we know we're going to be together. What are we waiting for? Because if this is not going to be a family unit, then what's the point in continue to waste any more years? You know? So
But to interrupt that shit, people gotta go through things.
yes,
You have
to do it
to-
on your time too.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it's like, imagine like if my father had passed before Timothy and I were married. If hell, his father had passed before. Him changing within all of that happening, me changing through all of that. You know, or I don't know, just something traumatic happening.
Yeah.
That's a different person. Like you still want to marry that person?
It's a different person.
You know?
Every 7 years, you're a new person.
Listen, and I am almost at 15.
No,
years.
seriously. That's what I'm saying. So that means that you guys have changed twice within
Yeah.
your relationship.
Yep.
And it means a lot that you have stayed together
Yeah.
through those changes, because people grow apart.
They do.
They do. You know, but you have to want to work toward those things. You have to say, I want this relationship to work, so let's work on us.
And not because of the years.
Right. Not because of the years.
Not because of the
don't
years.
mean a thing.
A damn thing.
Yeah.
Because just like how you just said, you gotta want to work. I still want to work.
Yeah.
He still wants to work.
And that's the key.
And then and I feel like when it becomes I'm like, you don't want to do
Yeah.
that work, then yeah, that's literally the downfall of your
No,
relationship.
seriously, even in my relationship, one of the best qualities about our relationship is our willingness to fight for each other.
Yeah.
And that was always really important for me, because growing up I had a lot of abandonment issues. My dad wasn't there, and then just, you know, relationships I went through, friendships, all of that kind of stuff. Abandonment issues are very real for me. That is something that I'm totally going to have to go through in therapy and deal with. But the fact that the fight has always been there when it
Right.
comes to him. And vice versa, you know, it was like to see that somebody is willing to fight for you, even when you are wrong, even when you suck, pretty much. Like, it's like, you know what, I see the good in you, and I know that you can be a better person. So I want to fight for that, because that's the hardest part. When people give up on that fight, it's a wrap, you know?
Girl,
It's a wrap.
listen.
I wanted to say too, though, to that meme, and I actually posted it because I wanted some feedback from people on Instagram. And it was very interesting to me, Joy, that the way you feel and what you've just said, because the majority of, when I posted that, the majority of the yeses that marriage is the highest compliment were most of my single followers and friends that are still in probably the fairy tale phase of what marriage is. Most of my no's, and the yeses were men too, and I'm sure they're just trying to impress you in a sense. But the no's were mainly women that are married, and women that are divorced. Were like, no. And it's funny because I'm like, so then I asked, well, what is the highest compliment? And I kept getting things like respect, loyalty. But I thought that was automatic. Like, you should
that's
know that
definitely
that's
automatic.
automatic. I looked at it like the highest compliment because a man is saying, you are my wife and you are my forever, and I'm forever, and I'm letting everyone know that. And I think that's where that question came from, the highest compliment. I think that it just
just don't
depends
wanna
on the way
give that
you
to
look
them.
at it.
I don't want to give it. No, I'm not giving it.
But guess what? Remember in our conversations about marriage, before you even married, it was like men sometimes don't want to give you that because that's their last thing they're holding on to.
That's the last.
They're holding it over
It's a
your
form of
head.
control.
Like, yeah, like if I give her that, she has everything. And
Please.
so, and I think that's why that came out. It was like, is that the highest compliment? Because you guys hold it like it's the highest compliment.
It's so weird because it's so weird, Janine, because I do feel indifferent now that I
Yeah.
even am married.
Yeah.
Like it, and I'm sure it's because I've matured a little bit. But I don't know. I definitely look at marriage so different now,
Yeah.
and I just don't want people playing with it.
Yeah,
Like I feel like
don't
it's
either.
cute that you went and bought a 10-carat ring for her and you did it at an arena, and
Yeah.
but I guarantee put 5 years in of worth of marriage, like
Yeah.
legit marriage.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, sometimes it can come off like it's just easy
Yeah.
because they are celebrities that are doing
I was
it.
about to say celebrity marriages are probably the worst in the divorce rate because
But it bothers me
turnover.
when it's like kids.
They got
Like
too
y'all are
many
in your
options.
20s. Like y'all don't need it. And honestly, too, a part of me is like, go have fun.
yeah.
Go live your life.
Yeah. For real. My mom was 21 years old and my dad was 18 when they got married.
Girl,
they were married for 21 years.
Girl, be out here.
Miserable for
Be
21
out
years.
here,
And
girl.
5 kids.
My dude, slang that thing. Like, be out here, experience
I will
life,
say
date.
this. No, for real. And especially women. As women, and I know this is me to the T, I'm talking to myself all day. When I say loyal from the start, even before you even knew where it was going, and not dating anybody else, putting all your eggs in one basket. I love you, baby. I love you, baby. But listen, this is what I'm trying to say is, as a woman, if I could go back, I would have dated more. I would have dated more because I would have been able to experience more. Because being in a relationship now, I didn't experience much because I didn't date much. And then by the time I met him, it was just like, okay.
I'm not going to tell about myself.
So
I
that
definitely-
if I could tell my younger self anything, if I could tell, because even before I was with Keith, I was like by myself for years. I was celibate for like 4 or 5. Like,
Right.
I went through all of these things.
Yeah.
So
Did you test drive your car before you chose that car?
not really.
Ooh, well then,
Because-
well there's your answer.
Thankfully, it ended up being an amazing car.
Absolutely
But,
amazing car.
yeah, it was just like, I don't know, just the morals and the values and
Yeah.
the things I was brought up on. It just kind of kept me from doing
Yeah.
a lot of things that I wish I would have, because when I look back, just the experience of it and just being very confident in how you move forward in these relationships, because you got to know what you want and you have to experience things in order to know what you want. So if I could look at my younger self or give any young girl any advice, date. Like, that don't mean you have to be screwing everybody. Like, date though. Find out what you want, what you like, what you need. So
I
that you can
mean-
really know.
Girl, test it out. Test drive it. Can't tell. We being real.
But soul ties are real, Joy.
Yeah. Those
Soul
are cute.
ties are real.
Those are very cute.
And if you out here test driving everything that you come in contact
Be
with,
safe.
then you gonna be
No,
fucked.
literally. But don't, we're gonna be safe out here for
Yeah,
sure. We
yeah.
definitely promote
Soul
the
ties
safety.
Are real.
They're cute. They're
real.
cute.
They're real, guys.
I mean, I found my soul. What is it? Soul tie. They sound so funny. Anyway, yes, girl. She gonna keep it real light. Be out here. Get
telling
out
you,
here.
I can only speak from my own experience and my own. Yeah.
But honestly, that's what made me realize. I mean, granted, by the time I met Timothy, I was at a place where right when I met him, I was over dating. Like I was over a certain person and just tired of it all.
Yeah.
And he I actually met him at the right time.
Yeah.
So I mean, but prior to that,
The casual dating has never been easy for me because, for one, I get annoyed fast. If I don't like you, don't even grab my hand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Don't touch me. And when it comes to casual, I did try the whole casual sexual experience.
What was that like?
Horrible.
Why?
Because it was nothing there. I'm not.
Oh, like you
equipped
needed
for it.
more like
I needed to be. I literally was like, I'm a big girl. I can do this. It was like, oh, that was the worst experience ever. And now I just got a notch on my belt. For what? Got to put down another finger. For what? That was horrible. So that's why I say that. It's just like, it just wasn't enjoyable for me.
the one gem that I would say that we dropped today is, marriage isn't anything to play with. Take your time, for sure. Ladies date, men date. What would be something else that some advice or a gem that you would give?
Just know your self-worth, even and get therapy before going into any marriage, please.
Right.
Y'all.
Experience some shit with your partner because
something.
Might be a whole nother person on the other side.
Marriage isn't
of
a fad, okay?
It's not. Okay.
This is Dropping Gems with Janine
and Joy.
Bye.